WrestleMania VI. Better than WrestleMania V. Maybe?
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying hi!
April 1st, 1990, we're at the Silver Dome in Toronto, Canada. This is our first international WrestleMania. It's kind of weird because instead of having America the Beautiful or our national anthem, they have the Canadian anthem, O Canada, sung by Robert Goulet. I didn't know Robert Goulet was Canadian. But anyway, let's do our best to get through this card as quickly as possible. It opened with Coco Beware versus Rick the Model Martel. This had potential to be really good. I love Rick the Model Martel. I think I've mentioned that before. It was just really short. It was like just a few minutes long. And the Model won. He put him in the Boston Crab. And Coco submitted. Not a great match. Next up was kind of a weird one. It was for the tag team titles. It was the Colossal Connection, which was Andre the Giant and Haku versus Demolition. I have to be honest, I don't have any memory of Andre the Giant in a tag team with Haku. Weird. Does anybody remember that? Let alone being the champions. It was not a great match, but it was kind of fun because Andre's always fun, Demolition's always fun. But it's notable because at the end of the match, Andre the Giant got mad at Haku and Bobby the Brain Heenan, their manager. So he beat them both up, and which enabled him to become a hero again. Good guy, or a face, as it were. So I'm imagining they did that because Andre's going to finally retire soon, and they probably wanted him to retire as a hero and not as a villain. Rightly so. Let him walk out into the sunset as a hero. I think that's only fair, and that's the right thing to do. Then we had Earthquake versus Hercules. Yeah, whatever. Then Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, one of my all-time favorites, versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I wrote down, Perfect is always great. Perfect is always great. He lost. He put over Brutus. I think that ended Mr. Perfect's perfect winning streak in the WWF. Next up was Roddy Piper. Remember when he retired? Well, he's back. Versus Bad News Brown. This one was fine. It was okay. I'm not a huge Bad News Brown fan. He's weird and boring. But it was kind of fun because it was just like a brawl. It was an all-out brawl, not a lot of technical wrestling. Just two guys who obviously hated each other fighting. But this isn't going to go down in the annals as one of the greatest WrestleMania matches. In fact, I don't think anybody will remember it. Sorry, Roddy. Next up, we had a weird promo from, of all people, wait for it, Steve Allen. Anybody out there even know who Steve Allen is? The original host of The Tonight Show? Or was that Art Linkletter? I don't remember. But anyway, he was up there. He was funny. He interviewed a couple wrestlers. It was weird seeing him there. He didn't know who he was interviewing, and his comedy style, vaudevillian, didn't really mesh with the style of WWF, but I thought he was pretty funny. I love Steve Allen. He's great. He's one of the all-time great TV personalities. Then we had the Hart Foundation, who I love, versus the Bolsheviks. This match sucked. So much potential, 4 great wrestlers, but it was weird and gimmicky, and somehow the Bolsheviks were singing the national anthem, of Russia or the Soviet Union or whatever the hell the country was back in 1990. I don't remember, sorry. But anyway, so the Hart Foundation jumped them and then pinned them, and I think the thing was over in like 20 seconds. Weird. I wanted to see a really good Hart Foundation match, but they got the win, they got the WrestleMania payday, but still, weird booking. Next up is the Barbarian versus Tito Santana. I wrote down in my notes, Tito is great, carried the match. Next up is a pretty good one. We have the WrestleMania debut of the all-time great Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, with Sapphire, in a very weird mixed tag team. It's Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire versus the Macho Man and Sensational Sherry. Weird. Really weird. But a lot of fun. It would have been better if it had been just a regular one-on-one with those two. But as it was a lot of fun. I will say Sapphire is probably the worst in-ring performer I've ever seen. But she clearly was having a lot of fun, so it's okay. It's okay. And the crowd certainly got into it. They had a lot of fun. Nobody's bored when Dusty Rhodes is in the ring. And it's too bad it took 6 WrestleManias until we finally saw him. He's the American Dream. The American Dream. Gotta love Dusty Rhodes. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, probably all of these people. Macho Man died, last year? Or the year before? I don't know about Sensational Sherry, and I don't know about Sapphire. I'm assuming Sapphire's dead. That's not funny. It's not funny. I guess, hold on. It's this kind of hard-hitting investigative reporting that So Awkward is known for. Oh, she died. September 10th, 1996. 61. Just 6 years after WrestleMania VI. What a shame. Real name, Juanita Wright. From St. Louis, Missouri. What about Sherry? Alright, fine. I imagine Sherry's probably still alive, right? This got really morbid all of a sudden. I'm Googling to see if people are dead. Died June 15th, 2007, age 49. Man, I'm really bringing this episode down. This is sad. All 4 of those people are dead. I hope the next match really cheers us up. The Rockers versus the Oriental Express. Yeah, that'll cheer us up. Shawn Michaels is back in his second, I believe, WrestleMania match, and he loses again. But this is a pretty fun match. It's pretty good. I think they lost by a countout. After that, we have Dino Bravo versus Hacksaw. I wrote down, meh. I keep crapping all over Hacksaw Jim Duggan. But he deserves it, because he sucks. Next up, we have a match for the $1 million belt. It's Ted DiBiase, the $1 million champion, versus Jake the Snake Roberts. I wrote down, epic. This was just a lot of fun. 2 of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I should say the Toronto crowd was great. Those Canadians love their wrestling, and they really got into it, especially during this match. They went insane. They actually, at one point, they started doing the wave, and it went for like the entire last half of the match. It was like a 10-minute wave. It was amazing. It was really cool. After that, we had Akeem versus the Big Boss Man, who you may remember from previous WrestleManias. I don't remember which one, but they used to be a tag team, the Twin Towers. But I guess something went awry, and they're now feuding. But Big Boss Man won. I wrote down in my notes, great match, too short. And then we had probably the oddest moment of the night, one of the oddest moments in WrestleMania history, I would wager. The premiere of the new song by Rhythm and Blues, which is the Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine. They sang their song. It was called Honka 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 Honky Love. Honka 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 Honky Love. It was awful. It was terrible, but it was great fun. They came to the ring in a pink Cadillac, and then they sang this song. And then the Bushwhackers came out and beat them up and smashed all their instruments. Then we had Rick Rude versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Murderer. I'm going to edit that part. He's not a murderer. Alleged murderer. Rick Rude had the win. And then that brings us to the main event. Hulk Hogan, the heavyweight champ, versus the Ultimate Warrior, the Intercontinental Champ. Winner takes all. Winner takes both belts. Unprecedented. On paper, that doesn't sound great. Both of these guys are limited in their moveset and their athleticism. But this was awesome. I was 9 years old again, watching 2 of my all-time favorite heroes going up against each other. I don't remember who I rooted for. I don't even know who I rooted for this time, but they really nailed it. I mean, it wasn't a lot of technical wrestling, but the story they told and just the way they played off of each other and just the reaction from the crowd, it was great. It was really fun, really epic, just an epic battle between titans. This one was good. Match of the night. I really liked the Ted DiBiase Jake the Snake Roberts match, but this is one of the best matches I've seen on WrestleMania Wednesday. It was great. I loved it. Probably the best match since Steamboat Savage at WrestleMania 3. Ultimate Warrior won. Cleanly. Possibly the first time Hogan lost cleanly, which is to say, no shenanigans, no cheating, no monkey business going on. He was knocked down and pinned. It was a clean win. So Ultimate Warrior became the champion and the Intercontinental Champion at the same time, which I believe had never happened before and has never happened since. History in the making. I don't think that Hogan really lost cleanly again after that. This was maybe like a one-time thing. Maybe he did in WCW, but we're not gonna talk about WCW here on WrestleMania Wednesday. But anyway, yeah, I liked WrestleMania VI, but I didn't necessarily love it. But I did love the main event, and it's worth watching for that match. Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. It was great. It made me feel like a little kid again. That's all. So I give this one a thumbs up. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next Wednesday. Ultimate Warrior is also dead. Hogan is still going strong. I don't know if he's going strong. He's one of the most hated men in America. He's a pariah from the industry, but he's still really rich. He won that lawsuit because of his sex tape or whatever was leaked, and he sued or whatever. We're not also two things we're not going to talk about at WrestleMania. But anyway, two things we're not going to talk about on WrestleMania Wednesday: WCW and any sex tapes. Especially not Hogan sex tapes. We're not going to talk about Hogan sex tapes, Chyna's sex tapes. Who else had sex tapes? I feel like every wrestler had a sex tape. Who tapes themselves having sex? Like, I don't even like looking at myself in the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth. Hulk Hogan? Like, he's filming himself having sex? Why? I just said we weren't going to talk about sex tapes. I'm talking about sex tapes. I'm talking about sex tapes.